Hello, welcome to Irresistible You, Ignite Your Passion and Purpose. My name is Karen Seltz, and as you can see, Phalecia and I are having fun already. I am so super excited, stoked to be sharing with you Phalecia Thompson. She and I are in rapid resolution therapy together, and we do all the trainings, and we're always, with the ones with our hands up and getting into everything. And I just love her energy. I love her smile. She's brilliant. She's super wise. So I'm so excited to share her with you. So Phalecia, welcome.
Thank you, Karen. I'm excited to be here with you and everyone.
Yay. Well, tell us a little bit about you. Let's assume nobody knows anything about you, and just, tell us a little bit about you and what brought you to doing what you do. What do you do? Why do you do it?
Okay. Well, currently, in the last 10 years, I've been doing the working with women one-on-one sessions, and it really has come down to continuing to follow the pings, which most people would refer that to as following your intuition and following the intuition. And those are just the pings that I've been following along the way. Because prior to this, I was a hairdresser. And as you know, being a hairdresser, you definitely get into the thick of being someone's therapist, right? Like they come to you, they get the hair done, but then everything else gets spills out. And I just kept thinking that it would be useful to transition and try to do something different. And so as I did, I transitioned into having the hair part be more about, that was the bonus. And they would come and actually start to get some in the internal work done, like healing and all of that. And so then, there's been a lot that's led me. I'm a mother. I have a sweet husband. I've got two beautiful children. And so, speeding it all the way up to where I'm at today, like you said, we've been taking some amazing training that has been like really helping us understand more in depth that subconscious level of being able to heal that. And because, like you could probably hop in here and share anything too, but just giving everyone a quick, like, what is the subconscious? And subconscious, its job, it's like it knows right now. Subconscious mind doesn't actually know like the past. It can't recall past. It can't recall present. And so when the subconscious is going in this right now moment, we, along with subconscious, have a conscious mind. And so with this beautiful conscious mind, we're able to recall events, things that have happened. And, there's sometimes things that have happened that also meaning has been attached, or triggers, or emotional turmoil, right? And so when that has happened, when conscious mind is bringing it here, subconscious is only knowing like, oh, this must be going on. And it sends a lot of people into that fight or flight and just causing that pain and turmoil. So I've really loved and thrived being able to work with people in the session form to help clear their mind and help update subconscious that, hey, it's not happening anymore. Even though you and I might be able to recall the event, it's not happening, but for some people, it's still real. It's right here, right now. And so it's just, I mean, I feel blessed and I feel grateful that I'm able to share this with friends and family and meet new people along the way. So that's like a shortcut of listening to intuition. And I am excited to share with you some things about intuition, but yeah, that's what I have for you so far,
Awesome.
Karen.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm super curious. Yeah, we are diving into intuition in this episode. And I'm really curious what you've noticed about using RRT, or rapid resolution therapy, in preparation. Like, I look at it like creating a blank slate where you can now hear and feel and see your intuition on such a deeper level, because it's not, colliding with all this stuck, all the stuck data or memories that are in our subconscious mind. So what have you found so far?
So far, it's been so useful because I find myself, as my mind continues to get clear and things have been able to be more clear, I really find myself being able to tap in and take more aligned action. So it's like mind has not been preoccupied. So there's not this like heavy fog, or there's not this preoccupation going on. It's like I'm able to really like tune in and listen to my intuition, that inner voice. And so I know I had like a couple examples, of what to do there. And something that I've shared, and I stand true to this, because first and foremost, it's it's always, I just want it to be beneficial to the person, that you walk away with something that you get to do, that you have this self-empowerment. Because there are times where we will step outside of ourselves and we need someone to help us, right? Like, especially when with these sessions, what we do, it's like, yes, like when someone's trying to figure out themselves, it's like, well, that's because you've got these conscious and subconscious trying to work it, and there's just it's not working when we do that. So that's when we do call a friend. So
Right.
something that I would love to just share even right now is, with our ears, there's these pressure points in our ears, and as you touch and massage them, and I can give you like an extra little bonus if you have lavender oil, because lavender oil is also the oil of communication. But when we massage, so everybody that's on here, and if you want to, Karen, if you've, I mean, I didn't prep you for lavender oil, but just
Didn't
even
prep
with
me. I
your
didn't.
with your
I
hand.
have some in the other room. I'm not going to leave though.
Okay, don't leave me here.
I'm going to pretend. I'm going to use my
Okay,
imagination.
you pretend, put that lavender on, but start massaging your ears, and just, you're gonna find like a little spot that's just juicy and it feels good. And there might even be a little like crunch and pop. It's okay. Just massage it out. And as
As
you
you
do
say
that,
juicy, I'm thinking like juicy pus. I'm like, I hope there's nothing juicy in my ear. I should have warned you about my ridiculous humor.
no,
Oh,
it's great. I love
gross.
it. I love it. I love it. So as you're massaging, notice, are you noticing some warm sensations, some tingling? This is how I love to start out any session, because what are we trying to do? It's like we're trying to have you be more connected to yourself. So connected to yourself, that's like awakening that intuition, that ping, that voice that's in us. And it's a tool that you have, I have, we have access to. And I love anything that's self-empowering, because I do believe that we were put here on this planet not without what we need, right? Like there's a lot right here that we've got that offers for us. So
I
that's just
love that. I
one.
love practical. Yeah, I love the practical tips, because so many people, they'll say, "Oh yeah, this is what I did," but they don't give you the practical how-tos. They just say, "Oh, I'm able to hear, my guidance, or I have guides," and they don't tell you how to do it. So this is super practical. I love that.
Yes, yes. Yeah,
What else you
it's
got for us?
very
This is
useful.
amazing.
Take it and start doing it with your sessions and see what happens.
I know. It's really
Even for
interesting
you.
because one of my other certifications is brain gym. And that is one, I mean, not the lavender oil, but that's one of the movements in brain gym, which is a way to rewire the brain. And it
Is it
definitely helps you
really?
to listen better and improve your communication skills. So it's so interesting. I love
Yeah,
crossover.
I love that. Yeah, see, there's so many things that's just, it's fascinating with the mind, what's possible here. And I mean, I know that rather than thinking that this thing that's outside of us may be causing that pain and stuff, it's like, it's such a freedom to know that actually having access to the mind and being able to shift and to clear that, it just sends somebody on a completely different path, because they're clear and they have this harvest energy to move forward with. So
Mm,
yeah, I
yeah.
like that.
It's so remarkable, like what we're able to do. And I'm just blown away. Every single session, I'm just blown away at how well it works. I'm like, I can't, like, there's a part of me still, even though I've been doing it for a year like that. I'm like, I can't believe it worked that fast. I mean, I did therapy for years. I did so many different modalities and nothing really worked very well until I did this. And then it changed my whole life.
Wow. And I love
Yeah.
that for you. And I love what you've shared too, like in our community and how things have shifted for you because huge harvest energy there, right? Like, look where you're at today.
I know it's really fascinating. I mean, people might not know, but I was an addict and I was on 2 antidepressants and Adderall. And after doing some sessions with RRT, I went
Mhm.
back after one session. I went back to a 12-step meeting and I went to introduce myself and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Karen. I'm like, no, it's like just gone from my identity." And then I was able
Yeah.
to get off of my antidepressants, off of Adderall, and just be happy for no reason. Just which I believe we're meant to be. And the stuff that's biochemical in many cases, I think, is caused by that stuck data and then the meanings we attach to events that have happened to us.
Yep. Yep. I would agree with you. And I love that, the freedom that you have now because you're like your energy is wide open, you're connecting with new people left and right and bringing in like new opportunities. Like I'm excited for this new adventure that you're on with this lady too.
Yes, it's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us, like that's a great tip. What's another way that someone can strengthen their intuition?
So another thing that came to mind, and I don't know how familiar you are with something like this, but um, in the event of me starting to lose people that I love, like people that have passed on, and my experience of losing my daughter, um, I was able to tap into writing a letter to. So it started out writing a letter to the person that had passed on, but then to strengthen intuition, it's like writing a letter to yourself. And so kind of like consciously we can sit here with like pen and paper and we know that we're going to write down, but it's that subconscious part of your mind where you just let whatever comes up and flow. And so I mean, if you're just simply in the curiosity energy of wanting to strengthen your intuition, because I feel like too, I guess I should say this, like I would also say that starting and setting an intention, that if this is something that you're looking to do, to set that intention within yourself, that you are, like that your intention is to deepen the strength and that connection with yourself so that you start to be able to, are you hearing it audible, or are you more so feeling it as like your own thoughts, or is it showing up, you want to start to ask these curious questions. And I feel like getting curious is one of the biggest keys because everyone is different. And so I don't know, like, even for you, Karen, how does intuition show up for you? Like, what would you say how it shows up?
Yeah, my number one way of receiving is auditory. So I hear like it's my voice inside my head, but it's different quality. And
Yeah.
that's a way. If I'm not, like, sometimes I just hear a voice like go run out there. Like, and I just like I'm like, okay, and I just do the thing. And it's spot on every single time I hear, like it's like it's so bizarre, but it's a pretty loud voice inside my head. And when I follow it, like, and don't question it, it always leads me someplace so beautiful and where I'm of service. That's the big thing. Like that voice that's loud is almost always be of service, except once I can think of when I was thinking about leaving my ex-husband and I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I heard a voice loud and clear, let him go. And I'm like, thank
Wow.
you. Because I was like in that, I wasn't happy, but I was like, oh, I have kids and all the things.
Yeah.
but I also feel it in my body. If somebody's lying, like we talk about dating a little bit, I've been dating forever. If somebody's lying to me, I feel it in my body immediately. I'm like, okay, thank you for showing me who you are. Bye bye. Yeah. One thing that I've done, Phalecia, that's been super helpful, and you reminded me of it, was writing. And I would write my questions for God, spirit, source, whatever you want to call it. And I would write
Hmm.
it in black. A mentor of mine taught me this. And then I would just write the answer in a different color. And
Yep.
I was hearing it and like is like taking dictation, but it flows so much faster and easier and without interruption most of the time if I'm writing it.
Yep.
And then if I'm having a disconnected day, I'm like, I can just go back and just read the sections that are in red in my case. And it just like, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That's the truth. And it resonates so deeply as truth to every part of me. And I'm like, I have no doubt. How about you?
Wow. Yeah, that's, I mean, very, very similar experience, very similar ways of how I hear intuition as well. Like it's my internal voice. Sometimes it's very loud and sometimes it's like right there, just like you were describing. You and I have a lot of similarities with that, I definitely think. Um, and with the writing, I think too, like now learning a bit more about like the subconscious mind. I mean, it's the subconscious and just your spirit, right? Like it wants the truth for you, your truth. So your truth may not be someone else's truth, but for you, you're trying to connect to that. And that right there, the pen just flows. So it just works really well. So if there's, for somebody here, if there's a loved one that has passed on and there is someone that you're wanting to connect with, I highly invite you to write a letter to that person and connect with them and then just let them write the letter back to you. It's like, all right, you write your letter and then it's like, all right, dear Phalecia, and just let it flow because it's what wants to come forward. And when you're just in that flow, what's useful and what's meant to show up, it just will. And I like what you say about taking black and then color so that if you do want to go back to it, then you can just pick out the spots because it's color coded. So I love that. It sounds like that's been really useful for you.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Like if I look at my old journals, I'm like the quality of the voice, like the words that come through, it's so loving. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it. It's so loving. It's never, do this or, it's never authoritarian or anything. It's always
Right.
beautiful and
Right. There's like that
loving.
compassion with it.
Ah, I was
Yeah.
curious when you were talking about write a letter to yourself if it was from the other person because I didn't hear that, but maybe you said it. So
Yeah,
that's really
so
cool.
that's
Love that.
and that's been like so we talk about like using lavender because lavender is the oil of communication. So when you're using an oil of like a high vibration, right? And in like a really high frequency, it just aligns with your energy and it's in harmony with you. And when I recently, was sitting there just being raw and real with myself in the grieving process, I mean this is like really odd, but I had the placenta from that baby actually encapsulated because we heard all these good things. And with my first baby, I would have never done that. Like I would have not been the person to say yes to that. But I said yes to it because I had the ping and I thought, well, I'm going to follow it. And so when it ended up that she wasn't, able to stay with us, that little bit helped so much in the healing process. And when I was done, I was asking like, oh my gosh, like what am I going to do? Because everything was just so raw and the feelings and the voice came in, take frankincense in a capsule. And I'm like, okay, like, so I would fill up frankincense in the capsule. And then later, I looked into what did frankincense like emotionally mean? And it was the oil of truth. And that was
Mm,
very much my experience because as I would take frankincense in a capsule, that's when I got the ping to write my daughter a letter and just express whatever I was feeling in the moment. And then it was like, dear mom. And then like
Mm.
the words and the message, it just flowed through. And it was just this deep connection that we had. And so, that was a point in my life where I'm like, oh, oils like can help not only with all these like physical ailments, but they can actually like really tune us in. And so I really like to use different oils. I mean, so like the oil of truth, but then there's this other oil, it's called copaiba, and it's the oil of unveiling. And so just really
Mm.
tuning into all these different faucets within ourselves. So I've utilized that, and that's where I got the idea of it. And so let's switch gears, and it's not about someone who's passed on, but it's just about you and your journey. And it's like, dear Christy, and just let the energy flow and let the messages show up for you in whatever that is. And you may write the letter first with these questions that you have and these things about yourself that you want to inquire, and get curious. The magic is in the curiosity, and that is like, I think that that's delicious right there. That's where we find those yummy pieces, is when we actually really get curious, and then turn it around, and then let your higher self, let your future self, however you want to word it, but it's like letting your higher self answer back. And it's always been yummy in my experience. I've had good feedback, so it's a tip.
Totally. I
Yeah.
love that. And it's, you know, being in this field, you've probably done it too, but like meet your wise older self who's already done all the things you want to do. She already has everything you want to
Yes.
have.
Yes.
She already is. She has every characteristic that you want. And I've done
Yep.
meditations like that for groups. And, then what does she want to say to you? Like, what are your questions for her? And it's the same kind of thing. It's like you already have those answers. You have access to everything. And I believe that we have access to any knowledge or wisdom that has ever been or ever will be. Now, I could get off on another topic because I'm into quantum physics. I don't believe that time is a real thing. So, so I believe like all the timelines are happening simultaneously, and that we do have access to any knowledge, any wisdom that's ever come before us or ever could come. And that serves me because I believe there's a 100% possibility for me to tap into that. So it works for me. So if you don't believe that, try it on. Like what difference does it make? Like, if you don't have to believe it, but like Phalecia was saying, like, be curious, like what if? What if?
Yes.
My favorite saying is like, in the infinite realm of all possibilities, there must be a potential for this to exist. Like, there must be. So
I love
I'm like,
that.
I'm playful and I play with everything.
I love that. That's such a powerful perception too to have. Like, I love that. I'm with you on that. I would very much lean in there with you. That
I
sounds
want
like
to
a
tell
fun topic.
I want to tell a silly story like that. I was at a Dr. Joe Dispenza retreat a week long in Cancun, and this guy was going to give us a ride, a bunch of us, and he had rented an electric car, and it had sat in the garage, and it was dead. The battery was dead. But I just did this meditation called Body Electric, and I'm like, well, let us start your car. Like, we're electrical beings. We've healed bodies all week. I mean, come on. Like, surely in the infinite realm of all possibilities, there's a potential for us to start your car. And he's like, nah. So we just, did the thing we do for healing. And I put my hands over the battery, and I could feel electricity like shooting out of my hands. And that thing started up immediately. And I'm uh, like, why not? Like,
Oh
it's
my
fun.
gosh.
And that's what I say, like, to people if they're just starting out with, weird stuff. Like, that was inconsequential. Who cares if it didn't work, right? But what if it does? Like, how fun is
What
that?
is?
Like, it's
Yes.
not like I'm healing my body of cancer and there's what if it doesn't work? It's like get some jumper cables, right? Like, who cares?
Oh my gosh, I
Anyway.
love that. That's a powerful story.
Yeah,
I
I've
love.
done it again too. Yeah. With my daughters, they're teenagers and they're like, whatever, mom. I'm like, you don't understand. Like, I don't know anyone who's ever done this before. They're like, it's you, mom. I'm like,
Well,
so
too,
yeah.
it's like that energy that you're speaking of, right? That we literally do have enough like energy running through us to charge a battery. And like something that's really fun and simple is placing your fingertips all together. And as you do this, and you can even just close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, you can just start to feel that pulsating energy in the fingertips and just start to notice that. And this right here, this move where your hands are together, this is a battery reset. This is recharging your energy. And so there's all kinds of different like mudras, right? Like, so if you're, so like you and I, we're here together and you've got your energy, I've got mine. And if we were being distracted by, there was something else going on, you simply do this and it helps bring you back into your energy, into your message. Karen's off just shooting the magic.
You get some magic and you get some magic. I warned you ahead of time. Like, you don't know.
I know. I knew what I was getting into with you. Oh, I love it. Yeah,
Continue.
this is
All right.
good. This is
So
good.
finger guns with your fingers intertwined
Yes.
and direct the energy wherever you want it to go.
Right?
Everyone. Oh, this
Yes.
is so much fun, Phalecia. We could talk for
Yes.
hours.
The other thing I wanted to share is it's like, so again, this kind of goes along with like the curiosity, but also along with what you're saying, it's like being playful. And why not? It's always fun. Like going out in nature naturally recharges you and naturally connects you. And when out in nature, ask the question like, show me a sign. Like, show me a sign that I am, that like, first of all, that you're even communicating with me. And it's really fun when you want to ask for something specific, like show me a dragonfly. Like I want to see a dragonfly, or I want to see a crow, or whatever comes to mind. And that's the thing is, when you're getting curious and you go to ask that question, your subconscious is going to like, boom, deliver. And I have friends where we have too much fun where we're out and about and we start to ask these questions and it just pops up like automatically. So I just think that that's like a fun, useful tool to like move forward with, to connect in nature, but to ask for direct signs, like declare that you're going to see a sign. Like maybe you have this thing that you're headed towards and like this goal or something. And it's like, you know what? Is this really crazy or is this doable? And like, show me a sign that it's doable. And the universe delivers.
Yes, I love that. Beautiful. Oh, do you have any stories of when you've used that?
Um,
I would ask
there,
you.
there is one story. I don't know how this pertains
PG,
because
PG
it was
13.
you what?
I said PG 13, please.
Oh yes, PG-13. Hold on, let me give you another one that no, I'm just
The
kidding.
way you were laughing, I'm like,
Well,
qualify that.
I was on a hike. I was on a hike with a friend, like literally clear up the canyon, and we didn't bring water, and I was just quenched. I was just so thirsty. And my friend, she's like, well, Phalecia, like Phalecia Magic, like, what are you gonna do about this? And I'm like, I'm gonna manifest water. Like, I don't know how this is gonna happen. We're clear up this trail. And all of a sudden, then the ping came in of like, go around this corner. And we had gone all the way up, and there was this one little trail that like went off to the left and kind of like going back down. And so we go, and I shit you not, there was a gallon of brand new, like a gallon of water, like a whole water jug. And then there was a second one that was half open. And my friend looks at me and she's like, I cannot believe that this is happening. I'm like, I mean, I was thirsty and they knew it. So we opened up the new one and we both took as much water as we needed. It was just so fun. Like it was, yeah, like
I
that's fun and playful. And I encourage the playfulness out in nature because you're always taken care of.
I love that so much. What an amazing story. We are
Yeah.
almost out of time here. So tell everybody where they can find you. Because who wouldn't want to connect with you, Phalecia?
I have a podcast. It's called Raw and Real with Phalecia. It's on Spotify, Amazon, and Apple Podcast. And then you can hop over to my website. We finally been getting some updates over there. So that's all up new and shiny. It's phalecia.com. And that's where you can send me questions, connect with me there, like send me an email. That's where you can connect and book sessions with me and get to know just a little bit about what my offering is there. And then my Instagram is at Phalecia Magic. So that's where you can connect with me.
Beautiful. And I want to make sure everybody knows how to spell your name. It's Phalecia. I learned that the hard way. I spelled her name wrong like 3 times. I'm like, please forgive me.
It's all good. You got
It was,
Phalecia with a PH.
gosh, well, eventually I got it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Phalecia. This has been amazing. We'll have to do it again very soon.
Yes, I would love that. Thank you.